Well, welcome back. Regent Business School is a private institution which provides undergraduate and postgraduate management education level courses for students within the Southern African region. In its response to the growing demand from existing and prospective Namibian students, Regent will be bringing services closer by opening a campus in the capital. And to share this and more, we are joined by Dr. Shaikh, the Chief Executive Officer of the Regent Business School. He joins us this morning. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning. Thank you.
Thank you so much for being here.
Pleasure.
Perhaps just to start with, tell us, in brief, what the mandate of Regent Business School is.
It's an interesting issue. We're dealing in Southern Africa with a massive number of young people. And young people require educational services, they need employment opportunities, they need skills and training. And importantly, they need to take part of this big issue called the Fourth Industrial Revolution. And so what our business school is doing is providing this niche set of programs in business, commerce, management, entrepreneurship.
Dissect the Fourth Industrial Revolution for us just quickly there.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. I think people hear about it very often, but I mean, in an era of the digital economy, technology that is very disruptive, artificial intelligence, driverless cars, 3D printing, robotics, etc. There's all of these so-called disruptive technologies that's fundamentally changing the nature of work, the world of work, the way we live, the way we socialize, the way we take leisure, etc. So I think there's this whole range of technologies, exponential technologies. It's fundamentally changed the global economy and the way people exist and deal with each other.
And how exactly does Regent Business School sort of keep up with these changes that are happening to cater to the needs of these young people in this ever-changing world?
I think education institutions around the world have this challenge. There's so much of disruption happening in the labor markets, that universities are trying very hard to incorporate these so-called 21st century skills. And I think getting young people in particular, and then working adults and professionals, even in their senior stages of their career, there's a big issue in education called employability. Do you have the skill set in a fast-changing global environment and in the world of work? So I think what education institutions are doing, and like Regent is doing, and you may know that we belong to a Pan-African platform of private universities called Honoris United Universities. So at Regent we have quite an interesting view, if you like. We have the advantage of dealing with institutions in our platform called Honoris across the continent. So we can deal with students in South Africa, Namibia, Swaziland, Southern Africa in general, and we have students in North Africa, and we've got this Pan-African view of what is the 21st century professional required to have in order to succeed and to thrive in a disrupted labor market environment. So I think education institutions like Regent and others are doing their best to incorporate these so-called 21st century skills, whilst we make sure that our students get the typical disciplinary skills they need to succeed as professionals.
What is your take on the state of education in Africa?
Sure, that's a big question. I think we've had good growth in Africa. In fact, sub-Saharan Africa economically has grown faster than most other regions in the world. Unfortunately, this hasn't translated into productive jobs. So I think we've got this difficulty of what is called a demographic dividend, meaning a youth bulge. We have in Africa 1 billion people or more, 600 million of whom are under the age of 25. So we've got this massive demographic dividend. But young people need opportunity. They need opportunity to access education. They need to be able to finance education. They need job opportunities. They need to be in enterprise development situations, etc. So when you ask what is the state, I think we are, if I had to be very critical, lagging behind. I think we're not working hard enough, smart enough to make sure that we take young people with us in the context of this Fourth Industrial Revolution. So I think there are many challenges. People still struggle to get to school. Students struggle to get to university. If they do find a space, they struggle to finance it. Those of others who are forced to work have to find a way to continue studying. So I think, to be simplistic about it, we have many challenges. I think there are many opportunities. And we have to respond, because the youth of Africa could be a major dividend, and God forbid they could be a drag on our growth if we don't create the right opportunities for them. So I think we've got a long way to go as regards education, but there are interesting opportunities in the context of this new technologies we're talking about, even for teaching and learning.
Are you of the opinion that SADC and other African countries are in a position to sort of re-engineer, education within Africa?
I think we certainly have. I mean, if there was any time that was ripe for us to disrupt, re-engineer, redesign, rethink education, it certainly is now, because the technology allows us to reach out to such an interesting number of people and in many new ways. And I think so, finding new ways, innovative ways of teaching and learning, new modes of delivery is really important, but we have to reform curriculum. So what we teach must be relevant to what is required in industry. And as we know, that those needs are changing at a very rapid pace.
Yeah.
So I think the need for curriculum reform or rethinking, re-engineering, as you indicated, is certainly now number one. Number two, I think we have all of the capabilities to do that. And number three, it's really urgent that we let graduates get a set of skills that's relevant. I think that's the big issue.
That is.
Is my skill set relevant for a changing marketplace?
Indeed so. Any, concluding thoughts this morning for us?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, for a number of years, Regent Business School, Honors United Universities, we've been talking about a narrative called Africa is Rising. And we genuinely believe that Africa is rising. Yes, there are many challenges. We just talked about education. But the potential to translate the energies and the creativities of the massive young population that we have across the continent, this is probably our greatest asset. So I think this Africa Rising theory, narrative, there's hope, there's opportunity, as long as we do the right thing with young people and provide the right educational interventions. We're very hopeful that there's interesting growth opportunities for the continent and for our region in Southern Africa.
I believe that too. Dr. Shaikh, thank you so much for your time this morning. Thank you for being here.
Thank you. It was a pleasure.
That was Dr. Shaikh, Chief Executive Officer of REGENT Business School, that was speaking to us. We return shortly. Stay tuned.